Yeah, there's mud on my books. Okay, there's mud on my new book, which means that it's now officially mine. Hi everyone, it's Signe from Sign of Horses, and I'm going for a one-take wonder because I do not have much time to edit this video. I'm in the middle of the nature reserve where the horses are. BRISINGR is way on the other side of the field, and he might drop by later as I'm taping this vlog. And this is where I insert the intro, I guess. Check this out, I have got a package in the mail, and this is the official unboxing. I gave myself a present, very satisfying, and finally bought the book. Wow, those geese make a lot of noises. Oh, they're noisy, can you hear them? It's a lovely sight with the setting sun and then the geese flying over. That is so far for the one-take wonder of this vlog. Here's the book I bought. It's The Calming Signals of the Horse by RE Jelsum. And I've been hearing a lot about this book. I said Rachel, but maybe it's Raquel, I'm not sure. I've been hearing a lot about this book. Oh, it's got pictures in, thank goodness. It's a very scientific based book, and she did research on the body language of horses and specifically the signals they give to not just calm themselves but also calm the herd or people even. Now you must be able to hear the geese because they're flying over. It's lovely. Lovely. It's September and autumn is coming, but we're having a beautiful summer-ish day today, so I'm really enjoying it here. This book, I'm very curious about it. I'm gonna read it, and what I've heard about it is that it's a new take and can be a complete eye-opener on body language of horses. I'm very, very curious about it. I've heard so many people say that this is a must-read or a must-have, and what I've heard about it has been a total aha moment for me so far, and that's just hearing others talk about it. So I wonder what's going to happen if I'm going to read this myself. And I love books that give you that aha moment, that give you information that clicks with the information that you already have gathered, and makes everything just fall into place. So I thought that I'd share with you my, well, I'm not gonna say top 4, but 4 of my favorite books that gave me that aha moment. And I hope this one does too. So here we go. I'm going to start with this one. Let me get that. I've take post-its on everything, so as a reminder for me what I want to tell you about this book. This is The Nature of Horses. I have it in Dutch, but it's available in other languages as well. It's called The Nature of Horses, and for me this was an eye-opener. It's pure on the biology of horses and understanding evolution, where they come from, how their physical being works, helps you see the world through the eyes of the horse, or through the horse's perspective. It makes you understand why they spook at certain things, and we've all been there, that we go round one lead in the arena and then a horse is fine with everything, and then when you go around the other lead he suddenly spooks, and that is simply to do with how their eyes and how their eyesight works. So just to give you an example, you know, there's also a lot of evolution in the horse and a lot of other interesting stuff in in this book. It's pretty scientific, so it's not a very light or easy read, but it's just very, very simple stuff, like this picture where you can see two horses grooming each other, and he is just given the areas that are most often groomed and hardly ever groomed, and maybe some areas are never groomed. Just understanding that helps you find certain spots for the horse. And I wish BRISINGR was here, because I could have given the perfect example. BRISINGR loves being scratched underneath his belly, so that would be a juxtaposition to maybe this image. You would go for the most often groomed spots, but you know, the spots that are never groomed by other horses are the hard to get to spots, and they might just love being scratched there. So that's one of the things. See, you have to pair your own knowledge and your own experience with the knowledge in the books. It's never just the books, it's the books and experience and getting handy at things. Practice, 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 practice. And here's a little picture about eyesight, how eyesight works, and I bet we've all seen this, but it's very important to keep this type of information in top of mind, because we know that horses have a blind spot in front of them, and we know that they have a blind spot right at the back of them. But moving in and out of those blind spots and knowing that horses are easily startled by sudden movement, and then putting those two things together is another thing that just helps you understand why horses react the way they do sometimes. I'm getting some serious backlighting here, so I hope you don't mind seeing the silhouette of me. I'll turn the camera around in a minute. Turn it a little bit away from the lovely sunset. There's insight on how the oculus of the horse works, and where his vision is sharpest and where it's not. And of course, you know, us humans, we have our eyes in the front of our face, and the horses have it to the side of their face, which is why they can see all the way around them, but it's also why they are very spooky, because they can't see 3D as well as we can. It's hard to interpret. We tend to anthropomorphize, is that a word? Anthropomorphize, humanize horse behavior or animal behavior, but it's hard to imagine what it's like to be a horse or a certain animal, because we just do not have the same feeling and the same upbringing and the same instincts and the same physiology, body shape. Another thing in this book is a color chart of approximately which colors they see. This is still a lot of guesswork. Like I said, we can try to imagine and scientifically deduct what a horse sees and how a horse sees colors, but it's hard to truly exactly know 100% positive, but we know they see less colors than us. That's a scientific fact, and it's in this book. So if you're really interested, then go and buy this book and see if it has an eye-opener for you as well. It's called The Nature of Horses by Budiansky. Budiansky. I'll try to link all the books below here as well. Okay, quickly gonna scoot you over a little bit. Stay upright, camera, please. There we go. Okay, there might be a little editing in this vlog just to do the camera movements. Oh, that sunset is lovely though. That is gorgeous sunset. Onward and upward to the next book. This book is called The Horse Crucified and Risen by Nevzorov. He's a Russian guy, and I've seen him on the internet, pictures of him and his horses doing amazing, fabulous stuff. All bridleless, saddleless, aerial exercises with no bridle, no force, no, all positive R. I think this guy was positive reinforcement before the word was even known in the world. And this book, I tell you, this book is not a pleasant read at all. If you want a fun book to read, do not buy this book. But if you want a book that confronts you with your own horsemanship, that has a very critical look at what we are doing with or to our horses, then you need to read this book. It's about awful bits, horrible spurs. It's about short-sightedness of humans throughout the ages, but it's also about the love that we all feel for horses, and the love that makes us want to be with them and want to be near them and want to do things with them and not to them. Very quickly show you a few images that I really didn't like, and you know, I think we all seen these type of images, and we've well, not all, but some of us have been here, have been these people, and you can see the terror and fright in the eyes of the horses, and you can say the bits are hurting them, or the riders are hurting them, or maybe they're just in places that they don't want to be. It's not a pleasant sight, and we try to avoid it, but we can't always. I just tore a bit out of my book, oopsie. And this is Alexander and his lovely horse doing his lovely work. And I think, if I interpret the ending of the book right, I think he stopped riding horses altogether, because he came to the conclusion that a horse is happiest just being a horse and being left alone. And I think that is beautiful if we can afford to do that. I know I have my horses for my own pleasure, but I won't do it at the cost of the horse. I want to find the middle ground where I can enjoy horses, but horses also enjoy being with me, and that's the most important thing. And I feel that what I do to train them is to make them able to carry a human form on their backs and have a healthy life. And with BLIZZ that kind of worked out, I suppose, because he's 24 and he's still doing very, very good. What I love about this book, because, you know, seriously, it is a hard book to read. It is very, very confronting. But what I love about this book is the story that he put in there about the horse called Comanche. He was the only living representative of the bloody tragedy of Little Bighorn in Montana in 1867. And they gave him special treatment. A commanding officer must watch that the steed always be provided with comfortable quarters built especially for him. And no one, neither a single man nor under circumstances, has the right to force it to do any work, and no one can ride it. No one had the right to shout at or to hit him, and he could wander wherever he wanted with the colts who lived at the fort, and if he wanted he could doze in his comfortable stall or gallop around the field. He could graze on lawns and eat the flower beds, and he was allowed to eat the tender roses if he wanted to, and the sunflowers, and he had a beautiful, beautiful retirement there, which I love, and which I can only hope I can give my horses at the end of their lives, till the end of their lives. That's my dream. That's my dream. Yeah. So, another very eye-opening book for me, a tough read, not because it's scientific, but it's written from his perspective, and it's harsh. He will tell you like it is. He's like the Dr. Phil of horse lovers, I suppose. I feel I have to hurry because the sun is going down and soon the light will be gone and I'll be alone in the dark. And I wish BRISINGR would stop by and have a look. But he's just out there grazing. I don't know if you can see him, but he's just out there on his own. Right there. A little tiny break in the book report because I needed to get BRISINGR in this vlog. I know you all love to see him, and so do I. Part of me is really sad that he didn't come up to where I was taping the book report and came to say hi, because I really hoped that he would really like to be with me for a while, but he's pretty happy on his own in this field. There are other horses around, but he's the only one in this field. It's just me and him, this big old field, and he didn't come to visit me. But the good thing is that he can... Where are you going? I got you. I got you. You don't fall over on me. Yeah. So the good thing is that he's very good at being on his own, and I guess that's a good thing as well. It's good to know. We are getting to know him better and better and better, you and I. Yeah. On with the book report now. Let's go. Next book I have is by Hyland, and it's called Horses of the Middle Ages. Of course I had to have a book about horses in the Middle Ages. Hyland has written a lot, she has written a lot more medieval books, and I've read this to get a better understanding and a medieval view on horses in the Middle Ages. And one fun fact that I took from this book and will always remember is that they didn't look at horses as breeds but as types. There were types of horses and not breeds of horses, which is very interesting because now we're categorizing horses mainly by breeds first, and then by types, and then by character. And also another point was seeing the value of horse in a world where there are no cars or other transportations or any machines actually. So the worth of horses was incredible, much more valuable than they are now. I love the pictures that are in this book because they're based on old manuscripts, and it's not just medieval times in Europe, there's also medieval times in other places of the world, which is interesting. But here you can see somebody practicing their horse hitting a shield, and I think this looks very similar to the vlog that I made where I taught BRISINGR to rear and kick a shield, and I'll link it up in the corner. I think it's that corner, but it might be that corner. Forgive me, these corners are confusing. So if you are interested in horses and middle-aged time, go and find a book. She wrote several titles of Hyland. The last book I have for this evening is another big favorite of mine. I am going to make it before the light goes out. It's called Dressage Naturally by Karen Rohlf. I've been to a clinic of hers and I've been a member of her classroom, and she really put one and one together for me. I was interested in Pirelli. I did a bit of reading of Pirelli, but I have a strong disliking for any method. As soon as there's a method and there's a step-by-step book, that's where I go like, man, no thank you. I just want knowledge, and I want to be able to reflect it to my own knowledge and my own way of doing things, and then, you know, go on. I don't like a step-by-step level type of thing, but that's just me. The guy has said many a good thing, and I've learned a lot from him. But I've learned more from Karen Rohlf, who's also a student, who was a student of him. And she used to be a dressage rider, and she felt that the force that she used on horses, it just didn't work for her anymore. And she went 360, 180, she went 180 and went to Pirelli and did a course with him, and then stuff clicked with her. And she's tutoring, and like I said, the classroom is also a thing that that you can take a lot of information and knowledge out of, but you could also buy the book. I did both the classroom and the book, and as you can see, I marked out plenty of pages. I'm not going to show you all of them. A horse doesn't care about what we call ourselves. If we call ourselves natural horsemen or dressage rider or professionals or amateurs or jumpers or western, or name what we do, he just wants us to understand him mentally, emotionally and physically. The horse wants us to understand him mentally, emotionally and physically. That's beautiful. I love that. They don't care if you do dressage or western, or you call yourself a natural horsemanship, or you're pro bit or against bit. They don't care. They just want to understand. They want you to understand them on all levels. It's full of lovely little drawings, because she's a very avid drawer as well, and with exercises that you can do that will help you and your horse develop. And the way she describes the sweet spot is also something that you need to read up on. It's finding the perfect spot. It's finding the balance between energy and comfort and learning, and well, the balance between everything. And she draws out 3 bubbles, and in the middle of those 3 bubbles is the sweet spot. And when you ride or train, you move in and out of the sweet spot. But as soon as you go through it more and more and more, you find the happy middle ground, and you can stay in that sweet spot longer, you and your horse. And that makes you a happy rider and makes your horse a happy horse. Yeah. That's it. I've gone through all my books. Yeah, I have. Yay. Okay, time for the ending.